So yeah, you mentioned the sannyasa diksha. I remember Puja Swamiji talking about his own sannyasa diksha, and then he would say that there is like you said, Jaykumarji, there is an elaborate ritual which is actually called Viraja Homa,
Correct.
where all these duties are given up,
Correct.
including symbolically the body itself. The body of the person taking sannyasa is also consigned to the flames to return to the devas, Indra, Vayu, Agni, different parts of our body actually is like a loan from them. So that Dahana Samskara is also performed as part of the Viraja Homa. And that is why a sannyasi is not cremated when they, in the life end, they are actually buried in Hindu Dharma. That's why.
I kind of doubt that because Swami Vivekananda, he who took sannyasa through a Virija Homa, he was cremated.
Yeah, so the tradition, so it's like this. So let's review. So it's called Virija Homa. So this is a traditional way of this the sannyasa ritual is called a Virija Homa. And so where symbolically everything is given up. So that's the beauty of this. So everything is mithya. And I am Satyam. So everything is mithya is not sad. Everything is mithya is great because I am Satyam. That is the beauty of this. Only a person who is committed to that can go through this ritual. Committed to that, I said. I did not say one who knows that. Next class, I intended to talk about Sarva Karma Sannyasa. So I will reserve some discussion for later. So that person who is committed to this pursuit of the Vedas and Vedanta is given sannyasa. Okay, so Viraja Homa and symbolically it's all given up. The body is also given up, and then the hair is also given up. So brahmachari, when he was a brahmachari, he had a tuft in the back. This tuft is there, and tuft keeps on there for entire life. Tuft is there, and only he can't say COVID and I haven't shaved for 3 months, and so I want to this kind of stuff. A brahmachari and even grasta cannot say all these things because tuft has to stay. That's how the tradition was. All this British colonization and things kind of changed a lot of things. But that tuft can be removed. Only a sannyasi can remove it, and with the advice of a guru. Okay, so Viraja Homa, all that is there. And cremation, etc. is there, and burial. And so normally their bodies are left to the nature, left to the elements. And that's been the tradition. And so in some cases, perhaps they have cremated, etc. That may be possible. Now, this mantra, an important mantra is chanted during this sannyasa that I wanted to mention. It's called the Sarva Bhutebhyaha Abhayam. Sarva Bhutebhyaha Abhayam. So, I am not afraid of anybody. I mean, in fact, before that, I should say, I am no longer a competitor. Until now, I was a competitor, right? Two human beings in this world are constantly competing with each other. And race. They say it's a rat race. Without realizing that even if I win the race, I will still be a rat. I don't become a cat. And so that's a rat race. They say, okay, fine, go ahead. And but then this sannyasi says, I am stepping out of the rat race. Not because I'm afraid of this rat race. No. There's no fear and all that. I'm not running away from this rat race. I have grown out of this rat race. I don't need the rat race anymore. And I am happy with what I have. And I can even say a few words. I can even teach. Those who want to learn, I can teach. This is his or her attitude. So he says, Sarva Bhutebhyaha Abhayam. So, everybody, Sarva Bhutebhyaha. Oh elements, oh plants, oh animals, oh birds. You don't have to fear me anymore because I've been competing. right? I'm a non-vegetarian, means that the animals are running away from me. And I'm a vegetarian also, the plants are, a target, my target. And of course, I'm competing against everybody. So everybody has viewed me as a threat. Now I will say, I'm not a threat to anybody anymore. If you feel I'm a threat, you come talk to me. I want to understand why I'm a threat. That's the, wow, this is a vrata. It's an amazing vrata it is. Sarva bhutebhyaha abhayam. Okay. So none of you needs to be afraid of me anymore. Then you turn it around. Same sarva bhutebhyaha abhayam. I am also not afraid of any of you. Correct? You don't have to be afraid of me, it's fine. But I am afraid of all of you. I'm constantly afraid of you. No, I am not afraid of anything because there is nothing to be afraid of. Nothing. So this is a beautiful, beautiful process. Sarva bhutebhya abhayam. Which culture will have this kind of a tradition? Sannyasa. It's called sannyasa. Anyway, there's a lot to say. I don't want to convert this satsang into a class, and so thanks Vaidya for bringing those things up. I mean, it just it brings out a lot of this particular sannyasa tradition. So that is why in our culture, you see a person with kashaya vastra, immediately you bow down to that person. You don't, male, female, doesn't matter. Studied, what do you know Sanskrit? Huh? You don't ask these kinds of questions. Do you know Sanskrit? Where did you study? Ramakrishna Mission, or where did you go? No, nothing. You just do namaskar. And she will bless you. You take the blessings. We all need blessings all the time, and she will bless you. This is our tradition. So amazing it is. Yeah. Anything else?
Jacoji, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So how do you know that you are ready for Vanaprastha? Like, how do you know you are transitioning into that?
You are doing.
I'm not asking for myself, generally saying.
So how do you know? How do you know that you are ready for Vanaprastha? Well, let's start with an even more basic question. How do you know you are ready for Grahastha? So why jump all the way to Grahastha? Because recently he became a Grahastha. So that is one thing. And recently, so unlike some of you who have been Grahasthas for a while. So I ask you, how do you know you are ready for Grahastha? You say what? Well, you don't have to say you are ready. Before you even open your mouth, all people are there to tell you, you are ready for Grahastha. What happened? Marriage and all, you don't have any concern or what? Your family, look at your mother, she's worrying so much about you. She'll put a guilt. They will put a nice guilt on you. Put you on a guilt first and make everybody guilty. And I had the same conversation 3 days ago with somebody else. And so, guilt trip. I told her, don't allow your father to make you feel guilty. This is what I told her. No, this guilt not allowed. And anyway, so how do you know you are ready for Grahastha? Well, the system is there. And at a certain age, they expect you to get married. And you get married. That's all. So Grahastha, there is no need. The system takes care of itself. This Vanaprastha and Sannyasa system doesn't take care of itself. This is where some initiative is needed. Correct? Yeah, otherwise, it is only in a book. Vanaprastha is only in a book. And these senior citizen homes, they like to call themselves as Vanaprastha. Very cute name, right? For a senior citizen home, Vanaprastha. We have one close by. So, Vanaprastha, Dhyanaprastha, they have all these nice names. The beauty is only the senior citizen home is called Vanaprastha. The people living there are still Grahasthas only. Okay, they're all 60, 70, 80 plus. They're all Grahasthas. They have no interest for, I'm sorry to say all this, I'm not judging anybody, but just my observation. Because Swamiji always tells me, oh, why didn't you conduct some classes for all these people? And then what classes? And they look at you like this. Bhagavad Gita has been like this. As these people are supposed to have lived in this country, they are supposed to be steeped in this tradition, they are supposed to be telling me, hey, you went and studied, you come and teach us something. That's what they should say. Sannyasi, there's a sannyasi. Swamiji is right there. And only a handful of people attend these classes. Anyway, so what I'm saying is, these people don't see Vanaprasthi in them. They don't see Vanaprasthi in them. So Vanaprastha means what? Hey, there is something more beyond, and I am already retired. And so I can, of course, retirement is not a prerequisite, but I have grown out of the need to compete in society. And I see something much bigger than all of this. Something very big I see, and I want to pursue it. Then what happens is, you are a grahastha, no doubt. You have a family. That's all that is fine. But then internally, you start making a shift. And then you keep shifting. How do you shift? Well, your pursuits will show that you have shifted, right? You're no longer going to certain things that normally a grahastha would do. And children are married, they're gone, etc. So you're no longer worrying that my son is not calling me, my daughter has not visited me for so long, my son-in-law is like this, and he doesn't respect me. All these ideas, you let go. Suddenly those things don't bother you anymore. You're not upset or anything. You're not doing something else because you're upset with all these people. Oh, these children are always like this. These daughter-in-law, son-in-law always like this. This sambandhis, this, what do you call it? What is the word for sambandhi in English?
Relative.
Huh?
Relative, right? Any
No, I'm talking about that. This is the problem. In English, the words don't exist, unlike in our Indian language. So your children's parents in-laws, okay? So the in-laws, etc. So they are like this. They don't call me. All this goes on and on and on and on. It just never ending. So you have grown out of all this. Then that's it, him. Then you see a Vanaprasthi in you. And you are not running away from anything. You are doing your duties properly. There is no shortage. You are in fact going beyond the call of duty. Okay. And so everything, you have dotted the I's and crossed the T's. And now your interests have changed completely. And you're no longer interested in the things everybody is interested in. And so you make a subtle shift. Your pursuits are different. You don't have to change anything. You don't have to change your dress. You don't have to change where you live. You can continue to live where you're living. And look at us. We are sitting where we are now. We have forget it. Now the classes, people, this Nirmala Sitaraman is announced. They're online. They're talking about online, and funding is given to make education online and all that. Everything is online now. Now you don't have to leave home. And ordering food also is online. Everything is online. If you can enjoy being at home, this is the thing. If there's a big if, right? If we can enjoy being at home, not going out at all. We have not gone out in so many weeks, and I'm not missing anything. If you can say I don't miss anything when I don't leave home, then you're a Vanaprasthi. And everybody else also is happy. Oh, this guy is interested in Bhagavad Gita and all that. And so good, he doesn't bother me anymore. So our family members are also happy. You're also happy. It's a win-win situation. Win-win situation. Vare vah, kya baat hai. Trayambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushtivardhanam. The beautiful mantra. In Namakam, in Rudra, there is this thing. There, this mantra says, Trayambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushtivardhanam. I worship Shiva. Urvarukamiva bandhanan mrityor mukshaya mamritat. May I gain liberation. How? This mantra says how. Beautiful. Look at this. May I gain liberation. So I can get sannyasa. I can do so many things. I can leave home. I can go to Himalayas. I can go to Rishikesh. So many things are there. And that transition can be traumatic to some people. That transition can be very can involve a lot of agitation, etc. Because from family the person leaves. And this mantra says, may I gain Preparation Urva Rukam Iva. Urva Rukam Iva. Urva Rukam is some kind of a pumpkin. It's a white ashed pumpkin or something like that. Big pumpkin which grows on a vine. Pumpkin grows on a vine, and then the pumpkin apparently, it seems, it snaps out of the vine when it's just ripe. Automatically, the vine gives up the pumpkin, as though the vine gives up the pumpkin. Look at how beautiful it is.
Beautiful.
Let me get liberation. How? Let my family give me up. This is the best. The family says, good riddance. That is the best sannyasa. That is the time to say, come on, let's pack my bags, let's go. And so, Urva Rukameva Bandhanan Muktior Mukshiyam Amrita. So, more we can say about this mantra, but that is it. So, you are the one who can recognize Vanaprastha in you. When you see that you have outgrown a lot of things and you have interest towards this particular direction. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Dr.
Yeah, Haraprasad, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, Urva Ruka is cucumber, Jayakumar.
Cucumber.
Yeah.
Cucumber. Okay, all right.
Yeah. Couple of questions for you. Between Vikriya and Vikara, is Vikriya creates Vikara?
Okay. Vikriya versus Vikara. Okay. So Vikara is nothing but form. Any form is called Vikara. Every object has a form. So every object has a Rupa, and Rupa is called Vikara. Vikara means form, that's all. Vikriya is a change of form. Vikriya is a change. Kriya means change, really speaking. And it's not change of form, is just one type of change. Change of other attributes are there. Color is an attribute, right? So all the smell is an attribute, odor, etc., etc. So any of those attributes are subject to change, and that change is called Vikriya. Vikriya. And your question was, does Vikriya cause Vikara? So that's not a correct question, because Vikara means form. Any object has a form. Yes, you can say change causes form, and change also causes the form to change. Okay, both are correct statements. And Vikara, the Chandogya Upanishad, so Uddalaka uses that word Vikara when he teaches his son Shvetaketu, and say, hey, this all the things that you see in this world, they are only Vikara and Nama. Namadheya uses the word Namadheya. Namadheya means name. You just give a name. And really speaking, there is no pot. Pot has a word called P-O-T in that language, English, that is called Namadheya. And then it has a form. You say clay has taken a particular form, and that form is called Vikara. And it is mithya. Why that pot is mithya? Because it has vikriyatvam. It is subject to change. That form is subject to change. Any vikara has vikriyatvam. Correct, Haraprasad?
Yeah, yeah.
Has the property called change. Change itself is a property of the object.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, one more last question. I'm boiling a cup of water for coffee. Okay? Who is boiling that water? When you say, I am boiling the cup of water, I know it is not Atma, it is because Atma is Akarta or Akarma. But I'm using the word, I am boiling the water. Now, who is doing that? Is it, what is the entity that does that?
Correct. So, I am boiling water. That is the statement that is being made. And the question is, who is the entity that is boiling water? Now, this is an interesting question because what I did, if you carefully look at all the things I did, so I took a vessel, I filled some water, a couple of glasses of water in it, and then I put it on the stove, and then I turned on the stove. And then I walked away. And really speaking, I am not boiling the water. The stove is boiling the water. And I take the credit because the stove cannot speak. If the stove were to speak, he said, hey, shut up. Who are you? I am the one who only kept the vessel on top. If I am not there, boil. Water will not boil. What do you think? You keep your stove in your hands and try to boil it. Let me see. Okay? And the stove will argue. And so if you look at it that way, really speaking, I am not the one who's boiling the water. But then if you look at who makes all this happen, so you need a conscious being to operate any jada, anything. Jada doesn't operate without an agent, without a being that has agency or will. And so will gets importance. The agent gets a lot of importance in this. Karta gets a lot of importance. And so I say I boil the water. I boil the water because without me, there would not be water boiling. There would not be water in this vessel. There would not be hot water in this vessel. There definitely would not be boiling. Correct? So I'm the kingpin. This Karta is the kingpin. Correct? Haraprasad.
Yeah.
This Karta is a central figure in this entire story. And so this Karta can say, I boil the water. But then this is a great example to remind the Karta that, wait a minute, you did a few things, I can accept that, but you did not boil it. You only turned on the switch. There is electricity flowing, you are not electricity. This device heater, you are not the heater. This water, you are not water, you are not the vessel. And it just happens, there's boiling happening there. So who are you to say you're boiling? Okay? That argument is a very good argument to think about and to challenge this person and say, are you really a Karta? Are you really a Karta? Think about it. Correct? So Haraprasad, I'm using your example to turn the whole thing around and say, this is what this example demonstrates, that you are not the agent of boiling. You cannot be an agent of boiling.
All right.
You were part of the scheme of things. You are given the ability to move things around. You are given the ability to operate. But boiling happens. Boiling happens. Okay? In fact, this is how, I'll give another example. You are about to boil the water. And then the gas, you're using a gas stove. And so you turned on the gas, you turned on the flame, and the gas is on now. The burner is burning. And you're about to put the vessel on top of this burner. And suddenly you put your finger there, and then your finger got burnt little. You pulled your finger out. And then you argue with the fire, the flame. You say, hey, flame, did you burn my finger? And that fire says, yeah, I burned your finger. Why did you burn my finger? No, I didn't burn your finger. What? You didn't burn my finger? No, I didn't burn your finger. You are the one who put your finger here. And what are you talking about? I thought you blow hot, but now you're blowing cold. You're blowing hot and cold, you know. They say in English, they have a beautiful phrase, hot and cold, blowing hot and cold. Blowing hot and cold means you're saying one thing now and exactly opposite thing later. And so this fellow is not trustworthy. And so you're blowing hot and cold. What is it? Did you burn my finger or not? He said, no. My nature is to burn. My nature is to burn anything that comes in my way. Your finger came in my way and your finger got burnt. I am not a Karta of burning, okay? I did not burn your finger. That is why I did not burn your finger, he says. Okay, so this is an important, this is another example that sometimes we quote to say that this jada vastu, fire really cannot burn me. It cannot have the agency of burning. Its nature is to burn. Its nature is to heat, and then the heating happens. So when the nature is like that, then you don't give it doership. Likewise, back to your original question of did I heat water? What we say is Haraprasad as though boiled water. As though the word as though is used to say that, hey, really speaking, if I set certain things in motion, then water will boil. I know that. But it is not necessary for me to take on ownership of that boiling. You follow me, Haraprasad? Because there's so many factors involved in boiling water. And I'm just one of the factors. Correct?
I see.
One of the factors, important factor maybe, but one of the factors. If everybody had a mouth, there'll be a big fight in the kitchen. There'll be a huge fight. And thankfully, these people, they don't have any face, any mouths. They don't argue. And we can make our own tea. And only when somebody else enters the kitchen, there can be an argument. And so until then, everything is good. So the answer to your question is, 2 or 3 answers we can give. You are the one who boil the water because you are the karta. And then you extend the argument further, and you say, no, you need not be the karta because you did only some things, and then now you're relying on so many other things for the water to boil. So who are you to take complete ownership of that act of boiling?
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Saraswati.
I have 2 questions. Why sannyasi is wearing kashaya vastram when there are so many other colors? Why that color is chosen? Second question is, what is the difference between the rishi and sannyasi?
Yeah, so those are popular questions. So kashaya vastra, they say the orange is a symbol. It's a symbol of flame. A flame that is a smoke-free flame can be blue in color. It can also be brilliant orange color also. So that flame of knowledge, here flame refers to knowledge, is supposed to represent that knowledge. So the sannyasi is supposed to be somebody who knows the realities of life. And so that person, traditionally, they have chosen, our rishis have chosen this particular vastra, a kashaya vastra, ochre robe, saffron colored robe. Okay, that is your first question. Second question is rishi. What is the difference between a rishi and a sannyasi? Sannyasi, you know now what it is, and the person who it's a stage of life, it's one of the 4 stages of life: brahmacharya, grahastha, vanaprastha, sannyasa. And one who is in that 4th stage of life is called sannyasa. And in our tradition, that sannyasa wears this kashaya vastra, and so we can identify sannyasis. Okay, a person in our tradition who does not have a kashaya vastra is not a sannyas. Okay, that is the tradition. There may be exceptions to that. Okay, you may be able to come up with exceptions. It's possible. I don't deny that. But this is the tradition. Okay, that's a sannyasi. That sannyasi. Okay, keep that aside. Now rishi. The meaning of the word rishi, rishati janati iti rishihi. Rishati, if you go back to Sanskrit, if you go to Dhatupata and look for, I think the root is probably rish. I'm not sure. But if you look for the root, it will say jnane. Means in the sense of knowing. A person whose knows is called a rishi. Who knows? Now you can only ask the question, what does the rishi know? Well, our rishis, all our Vedas, all the Veda mantras, they have some rishi's name in front of it. So, like this Gayatri, there is a rishi. And Ayatate Anuvagasya Vamadeva Rishihi Anushtup Chandaha. Then Ayatu Varada Devi, Ksharam Brahma Samritam, Gayatrim Chandasam Mataridam Brahma Dishaswanaha, Ojosi, Sahosi, Balamasi, Bhajosi, Devanam, Amanamasi, Vishwamasi, Vishwayu, Sarvamasi, Sarvayu, Abhiburam, Avayami, Gayatri Mavayami, Savitri Mavayami, Saraswati Mavayami, Savitriya Rishi, Vishwamitra, Nichut Gayatri Chanda, Savita Deva. So here we are quoting I, V means I. When I chant this Gayatri mantra, I am invoking Rishi Vishwamitra, who gave this Gayatri mantra to my ancestors, who gave it to their descendants, who gave it to their descendants, who gave it to my grandfather, who gave it to my father, who gave it to me. This is the story. And so there I am invoking Rishi Vishwamitra, who knows. Rishi means the one who knows what this is all about. And so, a jnani, we can say a jnani. Rishi is a jnani. Okay, now what about the Rishi versus sannyasi? Is a sannyasi also a jnani? Well, a sannyasi need not be a jnani. Sannyasi need not be a jnani. A sannyasi a person can take sannyasa with the intention of pursuing the shastram and thereby gain knowledge. And so sannyasi, so we're all in a way, without wearing the kashaya, without being in that ashrama, we are all sannyasis because we are seeking that knowledge. So sannyasi, rishi, the similarities are that both are mumukshus, both are jignasus, means both are interested in moksha, both are interested in jnanam. Rishi, on the other hand, already has the jnana. So we can say he is a jnani, he is somebody who has moksha. Sannyasi, on the other hand, depends on that person. Only he can tell us whether he is a jnani or not. So sannyasa ashrama is very important in our tradition because this knowledge is there. If going to heaven was the goal, then you don't need sannyasa ashrama. Because you have to do certain things, and then if you are a good devotee, God will be pleased with you and you will go to heaven. That's how all religions operate. But here sannyasa, jnanam is so important. So, telisite mokshamu teliyakunna bandhamu. Have you heard this song? Telisite mokshamu teliyakunna bandhamu. I think Annamacharya Kriti. Okay? If some of you can sing, I think you should sing in this class. Telisite mokshamu. Telugu. This is Telugu Kriti. If you know you have moksha, teliyakunna bandhamu. If you don't know, then you are bound. That's all. This Kriti says that. Can you believe it? So therefore, because that knowing is so important, our culture has set aside an ashrama called sannyasa ashrama, and all of us are supposed to be sannyasis. Correct? Sannyasi is not just for few people. Brahmachari, I want to be a brahmachari. I enjoy life. Then I want to enjoy. I'm tired of brahmachari. I want to be a married person. Okay, married person. I want to enjoy life. Okay, good. Enjoy life. Then what? Vanaprastha. What is Vanaprastha? What are you talking about? Don't give me all these old-fashioned words. Vanaprastha and all. There is no forest. Vanaprastha. Vanam means forest. And there is no forest. Why are you talking about Vanaprastha? So those things, of course, are irrelevant. But when our pursuit becomes clear, then sannyasa becomes very meaningful. Because that ashrama is needed. Otherwise, a person cannot pursue. Because the person will always be in the grahastha ashrama. The system must provide an opportunity for the person to pursue this knowledge. Otherwise, the knowledge can't be pursued. Very difficult. And so you can see how difficult it is. And we are doing so many things in order to meet. And anytime, anything can happen. And so difficult. Whereas as a sannyasa, you don't have to go. You will already be in an ashrama. You will be in an ashram. You will be studying. You will be having a guru. You will be staying in an ashram perhaps. And so then study becomes a main pursuit. Without any hindrance, let or hindrance, the knowledge is pursued, Vedas is pursued, Vedanta is pursued. So the ashrama is very important. And so many Acharyas, Swamis in our country, they credit They credit to Chinmayananda ji and Dayananda ji for reviving the sannyasa ashrama. Can you believe it? We have to say words like this. Sannyasa ashrama disappeared. And so these swamis have to come as avatars to revive, to tell us the importance of sannyasa ashrama and how important it is. I remember when I was a kid, and one sannyasi came and knocked on the door, and he asked for food, and I said no, I can't. He said no, something. I just said no, and he went away. But now it's coming back into my head. He said, giving me a guilt that how could I do that? How can a person living in India say no to a sannyasi? That is just not acceptable. That means I have lost my roots, so to speak. Not even to able to recognize this person coming in a kashaya vastra. Something I should give. If I don't have something, give something. Some chocolate at least I can give. I can say I don't. I don't. My mother is not there, father is not there, food is not there, and here I have a chocolate. Please take it. That I could have done. That much knowledge was not there. So it's important. The sannyasa ashrama is so important. So I took the liberty to elaborate on your question, Saraswati. So Rishi, one who knows. Sannyasi, one who might know, need not know, but will know eventually. Yeah, Anil is there. Let's.
So what I understood was sannyasi may be a jnani or may not be a jnani. So is Rishi a sannyasi? Because sannyasi, what I understood, is a seeker of knowledge. So is Rishi also a seeker of knowledge? Is he a sannyasi?
No.
Good. So if sannyasi may or may not know, then the question is, and if the rishi knows, then can the rishi be a sannyasi? So at this point, you have to say sannyasa means one who is in that ashrama, the fourth ashrama, correct? Fourth ashrama. And so our rishis, many of our rishis are all married. So Diti, Aditi, so they have all these, all rishis. The Rama went to, Bharadwaja Muni, Rishi was there, and then like this, so many munis left. They were all married. And so therefore, look at that. Here you can be married and be a rishi. You can be a sannyasi and not know. Both possibilities are possible. Understand? Both possibilities are possible. You can be married and you can be a jnani. You can be a sannyasi and you need not be a jnani. Both are possible. So wonderful. Our culture doesn't force you to be this or be that. And how can you have knowledge and be married, you ask? Well, they are, to the external eye, they seem to be married, the couple and all that you can say. But if knowledge is there, then it is just an ashrama. And prarabdha is there, and they will be like that until prarabdha decides otherwise. And so, main thing for us to know is sannyasa means that vastra should be there. Kashaya vastra is the indicator of the ashrama. A rishi can be a sannyasi if that rishi has that vastra, decides to take sannyasa, continues to be a rishi and also a sannyasi. Otherwise, the rishi is not a sannyasi. Could be a jnani or is a jnani. Correct, Anil? Good. All right, so we will stop with that. It's 10:52 here in Coimbatore. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Amrita Kalasahastaya Sarvamanashanaya Prayogyanathaya Shri Mahavishnu Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Mantaraye Amrita Kalasahastaya Sarvamanashanaya Prayogyanathaya Shri Mahavishnu Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhamantaraye Amritalasahastaya Sarvamaya Vinashanaya त्रैलोक्यनाथाय श्री महाविष्णवे नमः।